Hi there, Andy here. Today I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the art of string bending on the electric guitar. Obviously you can do it on the acoustic as well, but this is something that every lead guitarist must know how to do. So what I'm going to do is just take you through some basic string bending and give you a few examples of when it's used. Now the thing is about string bending is it is the one thing that you really need to have patience with. It is not something that automatically comes to you, because you're going to change the pitch of the note of a string and it must be accurate and it must be fluid. And that's what string bending is all about. You know, it makes the melody much more fluid, it makes the note interchange fluid, and it enables you to put a lot of expression into your playing. So what I'm going to do is just show you some very basic string bending and how the best way to do it is. The majority of guitarists, when they start out, will just use the ring finger to bend the string with. So I'm just going to concentrate here on the 5th fret and I'm just going to do this. That is a string bend. I'm changing the pitch of the note upwards from this note to this note. Like that. You don't have to change it up just 2 steps. In this particular instance we've got the D notes there. I'm just bending it up to the E note. You can maybe be able to bend it up 1 step or even 3 steps. Now this will develop as you get on, and different solos require you to bend different amounts of time, different varies of steps, you know, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. And I'll show you some examples a bit later. But let's show you how the best thing to do, how the best way to approach this is. The key is to make sure that you are fretting the string properly. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the G string. We're going to use the G string on the 7th fret, which is the D note. I just want you to pluck that string and just let it ring. Lovely, so it's ringing out. Now, I actually only use 1 finger to help me push that string up, but when you start, put all 3 fingers on that G string there. And then, keeping the pressure down, you must exert that pressure, bend it upwards. Like that. Doesn't matter how much you bend it, just get used to playing the note, holding it and bending it upwards. Like that. Now, I'm not saying I'll make it look easy, because I'll never make anything look easy, let's face it, but that is something that's very difficult to master. Because all I'm trying to do to you today is get you used to actually the feel of how you bend the string. Your middle finger and your forefinger are helping you keep that, well, that's put, the pressure is on the ring finger, but they're helping you push that string upwards. Like that. Okay, don't worry about what note you're hitting. And you see I'm pushing the string upwards. Some people push it the other way, downwards. I'm just showing you the way I do it. Like that. Okay, once you've mastered that, what we're going to do is a little exercise. And we're just going to use the A minor pentatonic scale just to practice what I've shown you there. So we're going to start off, here we're going to go there. Okay, we're now on the 8th fret of the E string, which is the C note. We're going to use the same pattern there. So we get those 2 fingers helping push our ring finger up and just bend it upwards. That's all you need to do. Don't worry about how many steps you're pushing it up. And again, change the pitch of the next one. So I've just changed the pitch a little bit that time. Or you can do it a little bit more when you get a bit more confident. And let it ring out. If it stops ringing out, it means you haven't fretted it properly. In other words, you've gone something like that. Or the pressure that you're exerting on your finger there, on your ring finger, has released. Like that. So it's quite difficult. But after we've done the E string and the B string there on the 8th frets, let's just do the 7th fret on the G, 7th fret on the D, and this is where I change it. On the A string on the 7th fret, I bend it the other way. Like that. Because if you bend it too much, it'll go off the fretboard. Like that. So I go. And then we go back to the 8th fret on the bottom E string. Now, there are loads of different ways to bend strings. There are tons of different ways you can use different fingers, etc. And there's loads of different ways you can perfect string bending and incorporate it into your solos. But this is what we need to do to start off with. Once you have got used to just bending the string, there's a little tool now I want you to use, well, a technique that you use now. Exactly the same. We're going to use the A minor pentatonic scale, but we're just going to bend it up one fret. So we're going to just one fret or one step. Now, the reason for this is you need to be accurate when you're bending a string so you hit the right note. There are obviously variances. You don't have to necessarily get it accurate all the time, spot on, but to start off with, I think you need to be able to do that. So what you need to do now is hit the 8th fret on the E string, and then just play the next note above. Play the D flat. And you think, yep, I can hear that second note. Bend it up. And maybe pluck it. And check your note again. It's difficult, can't always get it. And then do that all the way down the fretboard on the A minor pentatonic scale. Exactly the same as I showed you before. Yeah, get that note in your head. And do that all the way down. Make sure you've got your note there. What you can do, of course, if you've got a tuner or something that you can actually get the note of the pitch there from your guitar, you can then use your tuner to make sure how accurate you are. So we've got a little practice there session where we're practicing going up, just practicing bending the string. Then we're practicing going up one step. Next, you practice going up 2 steps. So previously we've been going. Now we want to go bending that C up, that C note there on the 8th fret of the E string, up 2 notes to the D. Sorry, 1 note, 2 steps to the D. Get that note in your head and bend it up. Yeah, see what I mean? You have to keep practicing, get that pitch right. And do the same all the way down your A minor pentatonic scale again. You can tell I use the G string a lot for bending, can't you? Because I can tend to get that one spot on every time. Then you have a real basic understanding and a basic knowledge and a basic technique to be able to bend a string. Now, I'm not going to go through any more detail on that. We're going to have a lot more series, a lot more detail in this. But what that's given you now is a flavour. Please be patient. Now, what I'm going to do is give you a very quick example of a couple of guitar licks that I hope I can remember, which show songs that bend 1 step, 2 steps and 3 steps. Now, the one I think is Hotel California. In the middle of the solo, there's a solo bit that goes like this. Like that. And he's just bending that like that. Maybe slightly less than that in the actual record, but for all intents and purposes, for this, you can hear he's just bending it up 1 step or near enough. Then, the next part of the solo, he'll bend up 2 steps on the G string. So the first part of the solo, effectively note-wise, is like that. And you're bending it. Next part of the solo goes like that. Lots of bends there. So what we're doing here, just as an example, the G string note there on the 9th fret is bending up 2 notes instead of 1. Like that. And there's a bit at the end where he goes, which again is 2 note bends. But this is just giving you an idea that within one solo, straight away, we've already bent up 1, we're bending up 2. And at the very beginning of the solo, if I can remember it, he actually bends up, Don Felder played it, bends up 3. Because I think the start of the solo, if I can remember, it goes like this. They're bending up 2 there, but on the E string, on the B string here, go all the way, oh, pulled a face there, up to the D. Like that. So what we're doing here is effectively bending up 3 notes or 3 steps. So that just goes to show you in one solo you've got 3 different types of bends. Oh, sorry, 3 different extents of bends. Now, in addition to this, and this is very brief, as well as bending a string, like you've bent up 2 frets here, if we're going to go back to the G string on the 7th fret, bending up 2, you can release it back down to its normal note. And that's called a bend release. Like that. And you can play it at different tempos. Or slowly. So like so, you can just bend it up, you can bend it and release it, or you can just release it, which is very, very clever. You pre-bend the string up and release it. So you might play a solo, something like that. But this is for later on. That's just to give you a flavour of all the different types of bends that we can have and some tips and techniques that I hope will allow you to progress your lead guitar playing. Now watch out for further series on this because we're going to try and develop a lot more, give you lots of songs to play, and I say on the Band Jammer website's full of songs with lots of bends. Keep practicing it, be patient, be accurate. Don't get too miffed with this. Go on to hammer-ons or pull-offs or a simple 2-chord song. You must get this right. Once you've got it right, there is a little bit of margin for error, let's say, but let's get it accurate first of all. So I hope you enjoyed that introduction to string bending. Great fun to teach. It's something I remember having lots of problems with. So any tips or anything you want, please let me know and I'll answer you. And have a great week. This is Andy signing off. Ciao for now.